Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Welcome to Book 4. In this book, St. Augustine will be back in Thagaste, his birthplace, and he becomes a teacher of rhetoric. What is a teacher of rhetoric, you may ask? Well, rhetoric is the art, study, and practice of effective persuasive communication through writing, speech, or images. This is a very Greek practice, and we know that there was high hopes for Augustine to become a great speech giver. His parents were hoping for an excellent TED Talker. So we will be reading from Book 4, Chapter 1, and that is on page 71. During the space of those 9 years, from the 19th to the 28th year of my life, I was led astray myself and led others astray in my turn. We were all alike deceivers and deceived in all our different aims and ambitions, both publicly when we expounded our so-called liberal ideas, and in private through our service to what we called religion. In public, we were cocksure; in private, superstitious; and everywhere void and empty. On the one hand, we would hunt for worthless popular distinctions, the applause of an audience, prizes for poetry, or quickly fading wreaths won in competition. We loved the idle pastimes of the stage, and in self-indulgence we were unrestrained. On the other hand, we aspired to be purged of these lowly pleasures by taking food to the holy elect, as they were called, so that in their paunches it might pass through the process of being made into angels and gods who would set us free. These were the objects I pursued and the tasks I performed together with friends who, like myself and through my fault, were under the same delusion. Let the proud deride me, O God, and all whom you have not yet laid low and humiliated for the salvation of their souls. But let me still confess my sins to you for your honor and glory. Allow me, I beseech you, to trace again in memory my past deviations and to offer you a sacrifice of joy. Without you, I am my own guide to the brink of perdition. And even when all is well with me, what am I but a creature suckled on your milk and feeding on yourself, the food that never perishes? And what is any man if he is only man? Let the strong and mighty laugh at men like me. Let us, the weak and the poor, confess our sins to you. By now, we've learned a bit about Manichaeism and some of its very odd beliefs, and today we hear more about how food that the elect ate released the good light and turned it into angels and gods that would eventually save them. And we discussed a lot of this a couple episodes back. It's hard to fathom that a mind like St. Augustine could ever think such things or believe in such things. Even in the introduction to the book, it says, quote, "It seems incredible that a man of St. Augustine's intellectual caliber could have been taken in by these fantastic theories, but the Manichees' plausible explanation of the problem of evil and his own inability to think of God except as a material being combined to win him over," unquote. Yes, even really smart people can believe untrue things. What's interesting is how easily we can be led astray just based off of what we want to be true and how propagandists package information for us to consume. In today's world, it is even easier to do, of course, than it was back in St. Augustine's time. And this is a big reason why we are seeing people believe in things like a flat earth, and that we never landed on the moon, and that there are lizard people that live under the Denver airport. Yes, I have had people send me videos of this to look at and give them my thoughts on it. Practicing Catholics. But back when I was Protestant, I believed that the earth was only about 5,000 to 6,000 years old, because I was told that that's what the Bible taught. But I had a really hard time squaring that with the dinosaurs and how old they are and how old science says the Earth actually is. And even today, now we have people denying dinosaurs ever existed. But I digress. So, in my mind, I just compartmentalized these two competing ideas. And when I married my husband, he started questioning me about this. And I said, the world is only 6,000 years old. Maybe it seems older, but it can't be. To which my husband said, but why would God try to trick us? Why would he make a young earth but make it look old so that some people might believe that it's old? Wouldn't it make more sense that it's old and your interpretation of the creation story is wrong? If science and the Bible conflict, then either the science is wrong or our interpretation of the Bible is wrong. They have to marry together because science is a tool given to us by God to understand the physical world, and it's not meant to trick us. And the Bible isn't a scientific book, so we can't read it as such. Now, the Catholic Church doesn't have a strict dogma on the age of the earth, but an old earth can be squared with the creation account. And that was very freeing to my mind, and it made my faith more solid because I found it to be more true that my Protestant interpretation of the Bible did not square with what the science showed. With Catholicism, both could be married together, and it worked out very nicely. We have to be intelligent people and use our reason and our common sense. St. Augustine got sucked into Manichaeism because it seemed to have an answer to evil. But was it a good answer? I mean, I don't think so, but it seems it worked for him for a time. That there's a lot of information out there, and so much is erroneous or just plain false. It is always best to study, think, try to remove biases as best as you can, and please, please, please use common sense. That is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.